So our next caller is Miguel, calling from Spain. They say they're a psychologist and that atheism is a logical fallacy. So I'm going to bring Miguel. Miguel, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you, yeah.
Perfect. All right, tell us about it. You said that you're a psychologist and that atheism is a logical fallacy?
Yes, that's correct, yeah.
Okay, so tell us about that.
Okay, I will tell you the fallacy, okay? Atheism is a logical fallacy that assumes God is the religious idea of the creator of the creation to conclude wrongly that no creator exists because a particular idea of God doesn't exist. Basically, atheists assume God is a sky daddy. I say sky daddy to make it easy to understand. So they put down the idea of the religious idea of God, and they conclude no God exists.
That's not what, actually, I think we're going to interrupt here because we don't claim that God doesn't exist. That's not our claim. Our claim is that we are not convinced that a God exists. Do you understand the difference between that?
Do you claim that you don't believe in God? You think God doesn't exist?
That's not what, did you listen to what we just said? We do not claim that God doesn't exist. That's not the claim that we are making, unless Sydney wants to make that claim. But I think for the most part, we're not.
Individually, some people might, but
we are saying that we are not convinced by the arguments that have been presented. We are not convinced that one exists. That's not the same as saying that God doesn't exist. We're not assuming that we are presented with every single idea of a God. We're not claiming that, like, we have every concept of God that we are able to completely reject. We are saying we are not accepting the ones that have been proposed, and we're not accepting anything that, like, if there is a God that hasn't been presented, that just nobody has any concept of, we don't have any reason to believe that that's something that's true until some evidence comes up that suggests that we should believe that. Does that make sense?
And as an individual,
I understand. I understand. Basically, atheists, I understand reality without God. Basically, you know, they have an understanding of reality without God. Basically, atheists think that God doesn't exist. Anyway, I'm gonna explain why God exists. 100% sure. Okay.
Go for it.
I'm gonna explain why God exists. 100% sure.
Okay.
100% sure. Okay.
To understand God exists, you have to understand reality is eternal. Because from nothing cannot be created something. Do you accept that or not?
I don't accept.
I do not accept that.
Yeah, I do not accept.
All right. Okay.
And the majority of atheists will not claim that reality came from nothing. That's not a claim that we make. So I think your assumption of what atheism is, you're arguing against a straw man of atheism. So maybe a better thing to do first before you go into your argument is for us to define our terms, and then you can argue against what our actual position is.
All right. Okay.
Okay. So as atheists, we're going to define atheism, at least for the purposes of this discussion, the position that we are not convinced that a God exists. Okay, so we're starting from neutral.
I was an atheist many years. I was an atheist for many years. Yeah, I know what is atheism. Yeah. Anyway.
So you then.
So basically,
and we are not, and again, we are not claiming that everything came from nothing.
Right. That is
we
not.
claim, a lot of us, and I'm going to take the position here that I don't know how everything came into being. I don't know the answer. It was
not from nothing.
I don't necessarily accept that it came from nothing, but I also don't really know. So I don't really have a position as far as that goes to debunk. I don't think that a God was necessary for it, or I don't necessarily have a good reason to believe that God was necessary for it.
Right. We have not
But-
seen enough evidence to suggest that we should believe in a God or that a God exists. We have not been convinced of such through evidence.
All right. So you can give your position, but just know that, like, if you were going to say what you were about to say, you kind of have to redo some things and not strawman our position.
Okay, I'm going to give you my position, but we have to go over the first hurdle, because otherwise it's not going anywhere, okay? Do you accept that from nothing cannot be created something? If you accept that, then you have to accept that reality is eternal. It's as simple as that.
No, that's not what we said. That's not what we said. We said that, like...
I feel like you called in thinking you knew answers already that we were going to say. And when we tell you that's actually not what we think, you just keep going as though we responded the way that you prepared or rehearsed before you called in.
Yeah. No, I know how this goes. Yeah. Anyway, I know how this goes. I have debated with atheists 1 million times. Yeah. Anyway,
But so far it hasn't quite gone anywhere.
Do you accept reality exists now? Something exists now. Do you accept that?
I would agree that something exists now.
I would agree that I am sitting here.
Right. Perfect. Reality exists now. Something exists now. Because nothing cannot be created something, then reality must be eternal. I mean, it's logical, you understand?
Yeah, if you're following that logic, yeah, if there has to have been something since the beginning of this universe. Yeah, I would accept, for this argument, I would accept that.
Okay. Perfect. This is then, I mean, reality is
right. No, but then I know the gap that you have to bridge now, and you have to actually bridge that gap.
So hold on a second. I just want to go back to the beginning. You said that you can prove that God exists. You said that you can prove 100% without a doubt that God exists.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm ready. I'm ready to follow him. I'm ready to follow him on this argument, because I know where he needs to go.
Simple.
Yeah.
It's very
go.
simple, the argument. Okay.
Yeah.
Something exists now. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Because something exists now, and from nothing cannot be created something.
I will accept that, like, for this argument, I will accept that.
But why is that something God?
That's, again, like, that's where we're going, is because now
why
you
is
have
that
to say,
God?
because we've agreed to your argument for the purposes of this discussion that something has always existed. You now have to bridge the gap of that something is God. So how are you going to bridge that gap? We are giving you everything that you want leading up to that point. How are you going to bridge that?
Okay, it's very simple. Logically, an infinite number of causes and effects cannot exist. Therefore, there must be an eternal first and cause. That cause what has a beginning of existence. Not everything can have a beginning of existence. Not every creation.
Well, hold on, though, but you're contradicting yourself, because you said that nothing, like, that there are things that have always existed. So now you're saying that things could have come about without prior existence.
Basically, what I'm saying is that what has a beginning of existence, like, for example, the universe, what has a beginning of existence. And
it's a possibility. It's a possibility that the universe has eternally existed. That does not mean that there's room then for a God. Like, it's possible. Right. It's possible that, like,
we've all agreed.
We've already conceded this part of the argument.
Right.
What we're asking is, now you have to demonstrate that something is God and not something else.
Right.
Yeah. Basically, the universe cannot be eternal. Because
why?
That reality could be a reality of infinite causes and effects, without any intelligence, without any beginning.
Yeah, I'm not seeing the problem.
If the universe cannot be eternal logically,
then why can God be eternal logically?
why cannot be eternal logically the universe?
Why hold on. No, you are special pleading for your God, because we have two situations. Either way, in either situation, you are claiming that something had to have been eternal, right? Either way, you have to make that claim. But why are you saying that this natural thing could not be eternal, but this God thing could be? Why are these different in your mind? Why are you special pleading for this God?
Because the universe is a reality of causes and effects. Everything in the universe, it has a beginning of existence. What you're telling me is that...
So are you saying that God is not a system of cause and effect?
The beginning of existence. It cannot be like this. No, it's impossible that everything has a beginning.
You're just claiming it's impossible. You have not convinced me that it's impossible.
So let me break this down for you, Miguel. So this is where I feel like we've gotten. We both say something has to come from something. It can't come from nothing. Got it. We both agree on that, right? We both say perhaps things have existed for a very long time, or you use the word eternal. Perhaps they have existed for a very long time, longer than we can even fathom in our minds. Great. Got it. Now, at what point do you say, and can you prove, you say it all the time, but can you prove that God is the thing that started that? We've conceded to everything else, but Dr. Ben and I might say flying spaghetti monster. We might say giant earthquake. How does this prove God as opposed to literally anything else? What proof is there that it's God and nothing else that started everything?
Because it's uncaused. Meaning that it was a decision. God decided to create the universe because it's a decision. It's uncaused. Contrary to the universe, the universe is causes and effects.
Where is God in this?
So you are just assigning attributes to the universe because you want it to be less possible than God. Like, that's what it sounds like to me. Like the same attributes that you're allowing to God of being eternal, like you're not allowing anything else to have that. You are restricting to this one thing that you want to be the right one. That's what it's sounding like to me.
Miguel, I am so glad that you called in. I really am. I know that you commented on a previous video and we invited you to call. But I think I'm going to have to move on to the next one because we're running out of time here. And I think you ran out of script. We'd love to have you come back. We'd love to have you tell us the true evidence that we need to believe in God, but I can't let us just keep cycling back and forth on this. I don't know if maybe you dropped a page of your script. It's gone.
Yeah, come back and tell us like why the universe can't be eternal, but your God can be.
Right.
Like why do you draw this distinction? Call back later when you have that answer.